If you've been scrolling through endless projector listings, you're probably feeling that familiar mix of excitement and dread. Excited because a 150-inch screen sounds like a home cinema dream, and a little wary because the last thing you want is a piece of tech that looks amazing on paper but ends up being a daily hassle. You want something that actually lives up to the promise of a big, immersive picture without turning your living room into a science lab, and you need to know whether the price really matches the experience. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. I spent a few evenings actually setting up the AWOL Vision LTV 3000 Pro, because reading about a projector's ultra short throw capability isn't the same as putting it on a coffee table and watching a movie. The first thing you notice is the sheer convenience of the ultra short throw design. The unit sits just a few inches from the wall, yet it throws a picture that can easily cover a 10 by 6 foot area. That's a game changer if you live in an apartment or a small family room where a traditional projector would need a ceiling mount and a long throw distance. In practice, all you need is a flat, light-colored surface, either a dedicated screen or a smooth wall painted with a suitable projector screen paint. The projector's built-in keystone correction and autofocus take care of most alignment issues, so once it's roughly positioned, it locks onto the wall and stays there. One of the most talked about features is the built-in center channel speaker. For a home theater setup, you normally have to run a separate speaker cable to the front center and hide a speaker somewhere under the screen. With the LTV 3000, that piece of the puzzle comes pre-installed. The result is a surprisingly clear dialogue track that blends well with the left and right channels when you hook up a full surround system. If you're someone who wants a clean, minimalist look without a whole wall of speakers, this integration is a real plus. However, it's worth noting that the built-in speaker only covers the center channel. You'll still need at least a pair of front left/right speakers, or a soundbar, if you want true surround immersion. The triple laser engine is where the picture really starts to feel cinematic. Laser light sources maintain brightness and color consistency over time far better than traditional lamps, and the LTV 3000 pushes over 1 billion colors. In a darkened room, the image looks deep and vibrant, with HDR10+ and Dolby Vision handling highlights and shadows in a way that feels more like a theater than a living room TV. Watching a nature documentary or a sci-fi epic, you can see subtle gradients in the sky that would be flattened on a conventional LCD panel. The 3D capability also works, although you'll quickly discover that 3D content is still niche and you'll need compatible glasses, so treat it as a nice-to-have rather than a core reason to buy. Smart home integration is another practical angle. The projector talks to Alexa, Google Assistant, and Apple HomeKit, so you can dim the lights, switch inputs, or launch a streaming app with a voice command. That level of convenience feels natural once you've set up the routines, especially if you already have a smart speaker ecosystem. The power consumption is modest for a laser projector of this size. The unit goes into a low-power standby mode when you're not watching, which helps keep your electricity bill from ballooning. Now, let's talk about the hidden trade-offs that often get glossed over in marketing copy. First, the ultra-short throw geometry means the light is projected at a very steep angle. If your room has a low ceiling or a lot of overhead lighting, you'll notice a faint glow on the ceiling or a slight washout near the top of the image. The LTV 3000 does have an ambient light sensor that boosts brightness automatically, but it's not a substitute for a darker environment if you want the deepest blacks. In bright daytime viewing, the picture will still be good, but you'll lose some of that true black punch that a dedicated darkroom projector would deliver. Second, the built-in center channel, while handy, isn't enough for a full Dolby Atmos experience. The projector does support Atmos metadata, but without external height speakers or up-firing modules, you'll only get the virtual effect. If you're an audiophile who expects a full,